In this video, I'm going to quickly go through everything you need to know about hadrons, baryons, mesons, leptons, because I know it gets quite a lot confusing. So all types of particles can be split up into two categories, that's hadrons and leptons. Let's first talk about the differences between them. So leptons are what we call fundamental particles. But what does that mean? It means that they're already in their simplest form. And what I mean by that is they can't really be broken down. In specific, we say they can't be broken down into quarks, and that's what it means for it to be fundamental. So I'm just going to quickly write that down. It can't be broken down into quarks. On the other hand, hadrons, they're not fundamental. They can be broken down into quarks. And how many quarks they can be broken down into, we're going to talk more about that in a little while. But just before we do, there is one more difference you need to know about these two types of particles. The first is that hadrons, they can experience the strong nuclear force and the weak nuclear force. So those are two fundamental forces, whereas leptons, they can only experience the weak nuclear force. Now that we've gone through the differences, let's talk about examples. So there's three examples of leptons you need to know. And this is for every specification, by the way. That's an electron, a neutrino, but there can be an electron neutrino and there can be a muon neutrino, which brings me on to the last lepton, which is a muon. The negatively charged muon is the normal lepton, in which case the antilepton, which is the antiparticles for the leptons, are the particles that have the same rest energy but are oppositely charged. So for an electron, that would be a positron. For an electron neutrino, that's an antineutrino. For a muon neutrino, that's an antineutrino again, but a muon antineutrino. And for a muon, it'll be a positively charged muon. Great. Moving on from that, hadrons, they can be split further actually. They can be split up into baryons and mesons. You might have heard them both. One key difference between them, baryons are actually made up of 3 quarks, whereas mesons, they're made up of 1 quark and 1 antiquark. Actually, next video, I think I'll go through sort of quark combinations. For example, what quark combination makes up a proton, etc. And a sort of method to go about finding that quark composition. Now, there's 2 examples of baryons that you need to know about, which are protons and neutrons. And there's 2 main types of mesons that you need to know about. That's the pi mesons and the k mesons. They can be positively charged, they can be negatively charged, or they can also be neutral. That applies for both pi meson and k meson. Yeah, that's a very brief sort of recap on everything you need to know about the classification of the particles. Again, you can go into a lot more depth about each of these things, like the strong nuclear force, that's a whole topic itself. Quark composition, that's a whole topic itself. And actually, the next video, I think I'm going to talk about what quark compositions are made for which specific particles and how you can use the quark tables. Be sure to look out for that video and leave a like if the video helped. Be sure to subscribe, I'll post more content like this very soon. Thanks for watching.